Hi, I'm Alex Weathersby, and this is my web series review of Classic Alice. Classic Alice is a mockumentary and vlog-style series about a college student, Alice, who decides to apply the classics that she reads in her spare time to her real-life choices. Some things I liked about this series was I felt there was a good amount of people of color and LGBT people represented. It always could be better, but I felt for what it was, then it was good. Especially Alice's roommate. Her roommate is a lesbian, and she and her girlfriend have a short diversion from the main narrative, and there's I think 6 or 7 episodes about them, and that ended up being my favorite part of the series was their little look into their lives, and I thought that they were probably the cutest part of the web series in totality. Speaking of that, the relationship between Alice and her roommate was really strong, and I really liked that. It definitely wasn't just fulfilling roles of Kara's the one who wags her finger and tells them you guys shouldn't be doing this. I felt there was a good reality to their relationship and how they interacted. I liked how they took the novels and applied them to her real life decisions. I thought they did very creative things in terms of what parts of the novels Alice chose. That definitely got her in some interesting situations, but I didn't feel any of it was ever way out of the realm of possibility. The first book that she goes with is Crime and Punishment. And so instead of obviously committing a murder or anything like that, she decides she's going to steal the answers to a test. It's just a very realistic version of events and application of a very dramatic novel plot. I also really liked how they used confessionals and extra footage. So like I mentioned before, the roommate and the roommate's girlfriend, they used that really well. And then confessionals usually show how the characters are thinking or feeling about the events, and it kind of gives us a chance to delve into the heads of some more minor characters or to clarify some things that we might be wondering about the narrative. Some things I didn't like was I felt that the first book that she used kind of raised the stakes too high. Alice is presented to us as this very good girl who just loves to read, and she's really good at school, and she likes making cute little dioramas for everything. And so just the concept that in order to make herself more interesting and to live life to the fullest, the first thing she chooses to do is something that is very clearly a wrong thing to do, stealing the answers to a test. So I just felt like that was a choice that would have been made later after she'd already kind of boosted her confidence that this was a process that worked and this was a process that did good things for her, rather than just being okay with jumping headlong into this at such an extreme. I also just didn't really like Andrew. That's a really unpopular opinion. Andrew is Alice's best friend. Originally in the first 2 seasons, he's the one who's documenting this experiment she has. He's a wannabe filmmaker with a very rich father. I just didn't really like him as a person. Never felt like I really knew him as a character. I didn't really approve of his motivations for everything and the way he handled problems. I didn't really feel like he had any sort of development. He wasn't dynamic. I didn't feel like he changed as a person throughout the series. I just felt like he always kind of stayed the same. This is a very long series, so it's just, I'm just not the type of person who really likes series that span over 100 episodes or more than 100 episodes. If you include all the content, with confessionals, with official episodes, and then with the Musica Mundana, which is the bit with Kara and her girlfriend, all of that together spanned over 100 episodes that I had to watch, and some of the episodes are longer than others, so it's just, I'm just not a fan of series that are that long and require that much energy and have that much content. I can see the benefit in that. I know a lot of people do like having lots of content, but it's just not something that I personally enjoy when I'm trying to get through all of something in a very limited time frame. I would watch this series if you like slow burn romance. There is a romance. You'll probably see it coming very early on, but it's a very slow burn and it does go through ups and downs, back and forth, will they, won't they. This web series definitely makes use of that, so if that's something that you really like and that's something that you're really attached to, then this might be a good web series for you to watch. If you really like classic novels and you're not really looking for a modern adaptation so much as you just want something that's kind of puts a spin with classic novels in a modern world, just not rewriting the stories at all. This is a really good and clever thing, so that might be something that you enjoy. And if you really like college age characters, the series does take place while they're in college and when they're gearing up for grad school. So if you're not really into like high school life, then this is a good one for you if you really enjoy kind of the college context around everything. The main character is pretty quirky. Like I said, she likes to make little dioramas. She's very cute and feminine, and she starts off as a good girl, but she kind of falls into things very quickly, a la Alice in the Rabbit Hole. Even though she seems kind of like a planner, she always doesn't end up where she thinks she's going to be. So if that's the type of main character that you feel really drawn to and you feel you can really connect with, then this might be a good web series for you to watch. If you want to read any of these classic novels without spoilers, you probably should not watch this web series, and you're probably not going to like it. They go through a lot of classic novels. There's Crime and Punishment, they do Dracula, North and South. They do have the books listed in some of the episode titles, so if you pull up the playlist and look at them and you want to read the books first, I would do that. If you're like me and you prefer kind of shorter series or series with not quite so much content, you might want to skip this one just because it is very long and there is quite a bit to get through. If you're not really a fan of things like will they, won't they plots, or you're looking for something like where the roommate and Kara, if you're looking for characters like that to be main characters and not just side characters who, even though they get their own story, it's very much a minimal part of the whole narrative. If you prefer an LGBT storyline or characters with higher stakes or just a different perspective, there's a ton of other web series out there that do a lot of other cool things. There's no shame in not wanting to watch this because it doesn't really have the representation that you're looking for.